the best time to scrapbook your memories is right after they happen. So today I'm going to share a really fun and easy scrapbook page using the Just Add Color line from Bella Boulevard and Tombow adhesive and markers. Now, I was provided the markers and the all of the product for this project for free from both of the companies, and I'm on the Tombow design team, so I was compensated for doing this blog post. You can head over to their blog to see the whole thing. So what I did here is I applied some color from one of those dual brush pens on the blending palette from Tombow, and then I'm using a colorless blender to pick up the color and then apply it to words on the Just Add Color papers from Bella Boulevard. Now what's really cool is that when you choose papers like this that are black and white based, you can use anything to add color. So I'm going to use markers to add color today, but I'm also going to use some embellishments. This way everything coordinates with my pictures. Now these are the pictures that Katie and I took at Alt Summit a few weeks ago, and I wanted to scrapbook this before we totally forgot everything. And what's cool about doing things this way with the black and white paper and then adding color is that I can custom match this to these pictures, and then on my next layout I can use the scraps left over and custom match this to some totally different pictures. Like maybe I decide to do 4th of July and I just use red and blue markers to make the papers coordinate with that. So this is a great way to get your pages done really quick without having to worry about getting your everything color coordinated and matching. So here on the top, I'm going to adhere this little tiny 1/2 inch strip of stripy paper using the Tombow Extreme adhesive. It's a tape runner. And before I do that, I have a couple of mats. These are just some random sizes of paper that I cut out of some coordinating paper. And I'm going to also use the Tombow Dual Brush Pen blender to pick up color from that blending palette and apply it to my paper. And I want this to have kind of an ombre type edge. Now I'm doing 4 different ways of adding color on this project. So the first way was to color in some of the words that were on the paper with the blender to get kind of a watercolor effect. This is the second way. It is using the blender with the blending palette to pick up color and color from the outside edge of the paper towards the middle, and this is going to give that ombre effect. So I have 2 more techniques to show you coming up right now. So when you clean off the blending palette, you can use a paper towel to wipe it off, and you can also spray some water to loosen up the ink on there. Now when I sprayed the water on the ink, it made really cool droplets, so I thought, what if I just turned this over and flicked it down towards the paper, and this made some really cool water droplets. So this is the third way to apply color, is to put your marker on the blending palette, put some water in it, and then flick it towards your page to make splatters. And then finally, I'm just coloring directly with the Tombow Dual Brush marker or Dual Brush pen right onto the paper to add some color there. And then I'm going to go in with a another marker, a black marker, and just add some writing. And this is also another way to add some color and texture to your papers, especially if you're using these kinds of black and white papers. Next, I'm mounting everything to the page using Tombow Extreme adhesive tabs. Now these are one of my favorite things to use because they're clear, but they have a little bit of dimension, so this makes everything look kind of like it's just setting on the page and not really glued down. And then finally, I'm going to start trying to figure out how to lay out all of my pictures and elements on the page. Once I have those all laid out, I'm going to use some more of those extreme adhesive tabs to hold everything down and in place. Now these hold really, really well, but you can peel them up if you decide later that you want to slip something else underneath or you want to move something around. They're really forgiving, but they're really strong. I don't know how they did it, but that's how they made it, and it came out really, really good. Bella Boulevard also sent me some little embellishments. There's a foam thing on the back of that bow. I ripped that off because I don't like it. Because I don't like the white showing, so I'm going to put one of those adhesive tabs on there later. Then I also added some stickers and layered those on. I really like layering stickers and word stickers and things like that, and Bella Boulevard has always been a favorite of mine for all of their fun little word and alphabet stickers. I have some of the original stuff they came out with like way back in the day. These are their enamel dots, and because that paper is kind of floating up off the page due to those Tombow adhesive tabs, I can kind of slip some of the enamel dots under the paper's edge, and this just gives everything a much more dimensional look. And the thing I like about these enamel dots is they stick really, really, really well, but they're a little bit more shallow, so they're flatter, where some of the enamel dots that are out there are really tall and really hard, and they will make dents in your pictures once you put this layout into a book. So again, I'm just layering more of my little items, and then cutting more little pieces of paper to add as accents. I really like these really, really busy patterns, and I like cutting thin little strips of those to add to the pages. So I'm using some Tombow Mono Multi Liquid Glue to adhere this onto the page, because this glue dries tacky, so it's going to stay nice and sticky, so that will keep this little strip of paper in place for years to come. So I'm just going to continue adding all kinds of things, and then you can also look through your stash for stuff like tags and ephemera. If you had tickets to something, you could slip those in here. So if you're doing like a road trip or something like that, save things from along the way that you could put onto your scrapbook page. And you can use those markers to, again, make sure that everything is color coordinated to your photos and whatever embellishments you decide to use. Now for Alt Summit, everything was black and white, and black, white, yellow, and a little bit of pink. So that's why I chose these colors. You can see that I'm using that adhesive tab on the back of that really fun little felt bow. Those bows are super adorable. They do have some dimension, so this might make some dents in your book, so just be aware of that. Then I also took some photo corners off of this sticker sheet, and then I put a little sticker star up there. And again, I wanted to have some dimension. I wanted everything to look kind of like it had just fallen onto the page, so I slipped a piece of that star behind the photo. And then the rest of it is hanging out in the front. Again, I'm going to continue adding stickers, and I also added some enamel stars to continue with that star motif. They're in the same kind of package as the little yellow enamel dots, but they're different shapes. Next, I found a little note that I wanted to put some journaling on, and then I slipped that underneath my pictures. So earlier I had talked about those Tombow adhesive tabs. You can kind of pop them up a little bit so that you could slip other things underneath if you changed your mind later. So that is exactly what I did here. And then I used a Tombow Mono Twin permanent marker to do all of my journaling. I love the way this marker writes. It's not really acid free. Most markers aren't acid free, but it looks really great. And you can see my finished page. It's fun, it's colorful, and you wouldn't have even known that I started with black and white everything. So I hope that you enjoyed this project. Please head over to the Tombow blog if you are not watching this on the Tombow blog, and make sure that you check out the full post. There is going to be an Instagram hop on Friday. Now, if you're watching this after June 2015, I'm sorry, but the giveaway is over, but you can still do some cool stuff, like give a thumbs up if you like this video, if you're watching it on YouTube, and hit the subscribe button. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you can click the little YouTube icon in the right hand side of the screen to get over to YouTube so you can subscribe so you won't miss any more videos. Bye!